Okay, let's start it. So, a short hike. What such a fun, cute game to play. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It invites you in with this beautiful autumnal color palette, and you're even able to change the look of the game just by messing around with the graphics settings. It lets you make it look as polygonal as a PlayStation 1 platformer, in a good way, if you'd like, or it lets you make the bit size of the artifacts just super big, and it doesn't look, it's anti-aliasing, so I guess aliasing, is that a word? And just looks absolutely, I think it calls it big and crunchy in the settings, which is the perfect word for it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The level design of the world here is absolutely spot on. It gives you this sense of exploration that was positively fantastic. You're constantly finding new stuff, even after I had beaten the game and gone to sections that I had been to multiple times. I was still finding little nooks and crannies of stuff that I didn't find on my first go around, and the placement of chests and coins and jewels leads you to find more interesting stuff. So it's just very well designed in that way, and everyone you talk to, the game itself has a great hilarious tone, kind of reminiscent of, I guess, Undertale or of Donut County. If you played games like that, kind of with a tongue-in-cheek tone, but never feeling like that weird kid in high school that thought he was really funny when he wasn't. It is just completely earnestly amusing in a way that's nice. There's a feeling of becoming overpowered that was incredibly satisfying. Just as an example, there is a section of the game where I went off the beaten path directly from the start and got to this other island that required me to do a double jump, and I took one look of it and I tried it a couple times, and I said, you know what, I need to come back to this when I have more powers and abilities, and that's essentially what I did. It's designed in such a way that these all feel like such nice intricate puzzles, including the frost mechanic that is towards the late end of the game. But as you gather materials, these puzzles become easier and easier, and then you get this great rush of dopamine and serotonin when you can just breeze past these puzzles that took you 5 minutes to navigate before with these newfound abilities that you have. And while that is incredibly satisfying, and the game pushes you to explore in this way, by if you want to keep exploring, you keep getting this sense of overpoweredness, the game also takes away your powers for small amounts of time, so reminiscent of what I mentioned before, the frost mechanic at the end of the game. And also there's moments where when you're about to finish the game, there's an opportunity to do a wholesome act that lessens your abilities, or there's these races that you have to level up first to compete in them, which creates a sense of exploration. But then if you get too overpowered for them, it diminishes your abilities in a way that doesn't feel like it's cheating you. It feels like it's engaging that puzzling, conserving energy part of your brain that is really invigorating and really engaging. I think the music in this game is particularly another highlight. I beat the game in about an hour, and I did, I think, 90% of the other activities with an additional 2 hours added onto that. And from what I've heard, it takes normally around 3 hours to 100% the game. And I never felt like I was doing cleanup or anything like that. I always felt propelled to explore the entire time. The only thing is that I found myself returning to many different areas. Even if I knew where I wanted to go in my head, I found it hard to track where to go to get there, and maybe that's just a problem on me not remembering the correct ways. But and you do get a compass partway through. I just wish at some point I had seen a map, and it definitely shouldn't be introduced towards the start of the game, but perhaps a map introduced just when you're about 80% done the cleanup, if it was given to you by an NPC. I think that would be really handy, just so I can get my bearings and then use the map from there. I don't mean a mini map that's constantly updating your position, but just a static map I think would have been welcome to that. Something that kind of does function as a map is the music, which is spot on and terrific, and certain areas have their own certain themes. So I would find that when I'm towards a specific area in the game, I would recognize the music and go, oh, that's not where I want to be. This is the music for the Sandcastle Beach. I want to be in the graveyard, which is a different kind of music. So I would then pivot in that way, and that was a good way of kind of orientating myself. So all in all, I think A Short Hike is a terrific game, and if I have to put it on the scale of is it worth keeping in the backlog, I would put it on top of the pile. I would recommend that you play this immediately, and the fact that it only takes an hour if you just want to beat it, but I would highly recommend spending an additional 2 or 3 just perusing around the island, and as I'm sure you will, because it is just a blast to do.